I'm a Black woman who was born in America and whose ancestors were slaves during the transatlantic slave trade. I was blessed to have known one of my great-grandmothers during my lifetime. I've lived in the Midwestern United States for most of my life and a small amount of time in the South. I'm thankful for each part of my spiritual journey and the men and women who influenced me along the way. My first introduction to God came from the Black church. During my childhood, the church was a major part of our family and community functions. The church my family attended evolved over the years, and it was there that I got my first lessons about African history and Christianity, and where I attended my first lecture done by a historian of African studies. That experience sparked something in me that I would carry for the rest of my life. By the time I was a young adult, I struggled with my racial identity because I had a deeper awareness and appreciation for Black Americans' experiences in this country that most people don't take into consideration. There came a point in time that I began to have questions about what I read in the Bible that didn't sit well with me, such as, who were the people in the land of Nod where Cain went to find a wife? And what was in the Bible before the Council of Nicaea took books out of it? And why do modern churches accept the changes that were made to the Bible? It was around this time that I read Alex Haley's autobiography of Malcolm X, which made me want to start visiting the Nation of Islam mosque. And I also read William Cooper's Behold a Pale Horse, which confirmed some things I already knew about the direction that our society was headed in and that everything wasn't as it seems on the surface. I started searching for answers and coping mechanisms because my basic foundation wasn't solid enough to give me the certainty that I was looking for. When I listened to the lessons from the Nation of Islam, they actually gave me a renewed appreciation for the natural role of women being nurturers and making their family's comfort a priority. I grew up seeing the women in my family have vegetable gardens and flowers and use sewing machines regularly. I also saw them cook every day and clean on a regular basis. Big shout out to Sister Sherazad Ali for uplifting us since the 90s. I felt a pride that I never felt before and was grateful for having these skills already. I was also happy that the Nation of Islam was helping the Black community by encouraging people to stop eating pork and clean their diets and have healthier lifestyles and to be yourself and accept your own. I would go on to visit other Islamic communities when I was trying to figure things out. That was how I learned about the differences in the practices and cultures amongst the various communities and mosques. I made up my mind I wasn't going to put up with caste systems or racism or abuse of women, and I absolutely needed to be fed spiritually. I felt a sense of urgency because there were many days that I felt my life was difficult and I found myself in a lot of mental and emotional pain. I was looking for inner peace, not a temporary emotional high. It was my dad who pointed me to Tuba Cafe, where a study group was happening that would change my life. When I visited, I loved it. That's when I first declared my Shahada in front of Muslim witnesses, meaning I expressed my belief in the oneness of God and the belief of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as being his messenger. It was also when I first became part of the Islamic community founded by Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba and Baki in Touba, Senegal in the early 1900s. During my first few years in the Mouride community, I learned the importance of cleaning out my heart by various ways. I learned about the tons of writings that Sheikh Bamba left for us, and I participated in cooking food and giving it away as a way to give thanks to God with the brothers and sisters in our local community for many years. That is actually a very high form of worship and a great service to others. My biggest growth really came in my most recent years when I increased my worship, like surah recitation and memorization and reading the Quran in its entirety, and doing regular prayers at the prescribed times. I now know that I'm accountable for my behavior and character flaws, and they directly affect my quality of life now and in the hereafter. It feels good to do things that I'm proud of, And I'll tell you what, witnessing the evidence of this spiritual path is truly amazing. It's not always easy, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm so thankful for right guidance because if I didn't have it, I don't know where I would be today. I'm thankful for my Sheikh Abdullah Bamba Bey. He's based out of Chicago, and he's also from the Mouride community. I'll leave you with this. This world has so much danger in it. In this life, we'll encounter people and forces who don't want us to reach our highest potential. Don't let them win. Wherever you are, keep doing as many good deeds as you can and stay away from the bad ones. This is what works for me, and God willing, I will never let go of Islam.